What I'm going to speak today is about cross-lingual technologies and opportunities which they offer for the small languages like Slovene, but also for many other languages which we can work on when the companies in Slovenia can work for. So when we are speaking about language technology, we are both in the AI sense, we have in mind what is called semantic language technologies. And even if we are not aware of that, we use them every day. For example, we communicate with our mobile devices. We do the search with this sort of technologies. We have all sorts of digital assistants which are coming now in and which will be really important in the future. Intelligence cars, we will communicate with them. Kids, they are engaged in electronic toys, household appliances. Machine translation is really kicking in. We do automatic translation to reduce the burden of too much information, question answering. But as we will also see today, we have writing aids. And all this was happening. It's like a huge progress, happened in the advent of deep neural networks that we heard today. And the enabling technology for this were actually the embeddings. And this also strongly affects all the less resource languages because, yeah, we all know that we have great applications in English, but what can we do for the languages we use daily? So as I said, the embeddings, that's the way how to represent, let's say, words in some numerical form, which can then be processed with these neural networks. So a sort of, you can imagine like each word is mapped into some vector, and that all the words in a language form a sort of a word cloud, and we then play around with that word cloud and do different things with it. So how it works really, how this cross-lingual transfer works, how can we, for example, use the knowledge collected for the English to apply it to the Slovene? So let's suppose that we have, let's say, two sentences. Let's say that we are trying to do some sentiment or news analysis for the news, for example. So, for example, we have like the English sentence, the president announced today, and each word is transferred into a vector. And this is a gray vector because this is an English word cloud. And then we have the same sentence in Slovene, and because this is a different word cloud, it's in a violet word cloud, violet vectors. Now, we have lots of data in English, but we can map this sentences into the same numerical space. So we can align the English vectors with the Slovene vectors, and they are now both residing in the green space. And so if we learn now a deep neural network on the English, we can easily transfer that trained network, for example, for the news categorization or for the sentiment prediction into Slovene. And because the input is the same, the input are the green vectors, this model will now automatically work also for the Slovene. And this is what is called cross-lingual knowledge transfer. And this is a sort of the Babel fish for machine learning models. We can basically train them on a higher resource language like in English, and then transfer them to less resource language like Slovene or Croatian or whatever. And one of the ways how to do this are so-called multilingual BERT models. So BERT models, this is like the state-of-the-art models in the machine learning nowadays for the language. They were, for example, trained on 104 languages simultaneously, including all the European language and Slovene. And that means that if we train models on higher resource languages, it's quite easy to transfer them to the less resource language. And these models are really very good at language understanding tasks. So I said, for some languages, it makes sense that we build such models even more focused. For example, we have built BERT models just for the Slovene, Croatian, and English, which enable the transfer just between these three languages. And it even works much better than this more general 104 languages multilingual BERT. And this is like a huge potential for cross-lingual transfer and also for multilingual applications. And this is what I would really want to emphasize here. So there's AI, natural language processing, is very strong in Slovene, and it's easy to expand the market. So why would we stay just in Slovenian, which is a 2 million people market and maybe too small for development of, let's say, really great companies? We can reach out and we can use these multilingual transfer opportunities to do that. So yeah, that was my message, boys.